All right, so you're gonna climb inside your trunk. And there's gonna be a big plastic piece right here. And somewhere down here, you have this little guy. You're just gonna take a screwdriver and pry it off. You'll be able to see inside this little hole, and that's the actuator itself. So step one is open your trunk by taking a little screwdriver and moving this lever down. Oh, okay. And then push forward. You're gonna get your trunk open. Next, you're gonna want to remove all the plastic stuff that's lining your trunk. So all you have to do is take this stuff, it's gonna be all around here, and just pry it off. It'll just pop out with these little things holding it in. Don't forget, there's this thing, it's gonna be sitting in here, like towards the bottom. There's a little screw in there that you gotta take out. Don't do what I did. I just kind of muscled it out, but yeah, take that screw out. All right, so the way your trunk works is this is your button from the outside, and this is the motor that operates your latch that releases it when you press this button. So you press the button from the outside, and that turns this on, which releases the latch. Let's talk about these wires. For electrical testing, so blue should be battery voltage, constant, and black is ground, obviously. Let's talk about these wires. So the two in the middle are ground, and the pink is constant 12 volt, and then the green is a little weird. So there's this, these Hondas have a system called the MICU, and what it does is it has to receive signal that all of the doors are open before it'll send voltage to this wire. So in order for this to be able to open, the car needs to know that all of the doors are open. And the way it knows that is all the doors have a little connector, sensor, whatever. And if you take your door panels off, when you unlock the car, your doors pretty much all send a signal to the MICU that tells your trunk that they're all open and allows it to open. So you have three likely reasons that your trunk isn't opening. Your button's not working, your actuator is broken, or one of these stupid little things is a little loose. So the car's not getting the signal that all the doors are open. Could also be a blown fuse, but if it was a blown fuse, you'd see other components not working, like some of your other doors or maybe some windows. But fuses are easy to check. You should also always start with those. But if your trunk is the only thing that's not working, one of these is almost certainly the culprit. Let's talk about how to tell which thing is broken. So in order to test your button, it's the easiest one to do. You take a multimeter and you put the positive and negative leads on either one of the prongs in there and press the button from the outside. And so you should read, set your multimeter to ohms, and so you should read less than 1 ohm. And then with the button not pressed, you should read infinite ohms. If you don't have a multimeter, you could also disconnect this connector and take a jumper, something like that, and just stick it in there with the motor connected. If the button's the problem, then when you do that, it'll open. In order to test the actuator, that one's a little more annoying, but it's actually pretty easy to take out. So it's you have to remove it, and there's 2 hollow hex bolts, and you just pop those out. Be careful because they're really easy to round out, which is what I did. I had to use vice grips to get one out. You probably want to hit it with some penetrating oil beforehand. But here's another one. So in order to test it, once you get it out, you want to connect some leads to it. And yeah, back to the wire, right? Put ground on the 2 prongs in the middle, which is what the black lead is. And then I put positive on, I think that's where the green wire would be. Yeah, so on the top. And then you take this over to a 12-volt battery and hook this up to ground on your battery, and then touch this to the positive side. And when you touch it, you should hear it run. And if it doesn't run, then you know this thing is broken. To replace the motor, you just pop it out and pop a new one in. To replace the button, you're gonna have to take some more stuff off. I'm not gonna show you because there's other videos on how to do it, but you're gonna remove these 2 screws and some more metal stuff and pop a new button in. So what ended up being my issue is these stupid connectors weren't sending the computer the signal that they were all open. So this car was actually hit in the door, so I guess that knocked that one loose. If your button and your motor work, then you know that this is likely your issue. So Honda sells a special tool that you could hook up to the computer that will tell you if anything is wrong with the MICU, if it's throwing any codes. I don't have that, but because I knew that this car was hit here on this side, I decided to look here first. And so this thing wasn't even loose. I just popped it out and popped it back in, and all of a sudden the trunk worked after not working for several years. So what you might have to do is take off all your door panels and then disconnect and reconnect those connectors one at a time to see which one is causing the issue. But yeah, hopefully that helps you out. That's all I got.